not sure how long I can keep fronting up every week after it wasn't a loss. We'll take that. It wasn't a loss. But I don't know how long I can front up knowing we should have come away with another win, another 4 points, put us in good stead heading towards finals. And we've just squandered another opportunity. And it's just deja vu at this point. It's the same thing week in, week out. I don't know how long we've got. I don't know how much more heartbreak a team can deliver to a fan. I mean, I know we've had this in the past, but these close ones, they're absolutely killing us. I mean, look at Collingwood right now. I know we hate them, and we always will, but you can't help but respect what they're doing at the moment. I mean, Collingwood have, I think, had 8 really close games within 2 kicks. I'm pretty sure that they've won 7 out of those 8, or maybe even 8 out of the 8. I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm moving around here, but we're all over the place. We can't seem to buy a win at this stage, and they've won 10 in a row just about, or 9 in a row. It could be 10 in a row by the end of the weekend coming. So we're this far off winning, but now we're this far from being where we want to be, if that makes sense. So it's a killer. But like Dimmer has said, and I said it last week, we continue to lose our own games of footy. We aren't necessarily being beaten. We're losing them for ourselves, which is arguably harder to take than losing. I'd almost rather be convincingly beaten, if that makes sense, because at least you sort of have a better idea where you're at. Well, I'm just confused. I don't know if we're good. Are we bad? Are we in between? I'm not sure. I think at our best we're good, but we haven't seen it, so who knows. And I guess the last few weeks we've been lucky to stay in the 8. We've been relying on other teams, mostly St Kilda and Western Bulldogs, to lose, to keep us there, but they both had what you'd think. St Kilda maybe not, but the Bulldogs' unexpected win. St Kilda, I thought West Coast probably would have beaten them, to be honest, over there, but they beat the West Coast as well. So we're now sitting 10th on the ladder, I'm pretty sure it is. And, 4 weeks left. That's it. 4 weeks and we're done, and we don't have an easy draw. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but in terms of the game itself, we had really good patches where it looked like we controlled the game. I still think we moved the football way too slow. I mean, when we're at our best, we're a fast-paced team. Like we surge, and whether or not we're trying to change our style slightly and mix it up a bit. But I thought we were too slow getting it forward, and I know it doesn't help, when Tom Lynch isn't there and you don't have those same options up forward, Dusty, etc. But we've got to make do with what we've got, and I still think that surge mentality is when we're going to play our best footy, and we didn't quite get there, even when we did control the game. But I thought we looked the better side for the majority of the night. I mean, Freo missed a few chances. We had so many chances that we missed. And I mean, like, one, for example, I was going to talk about it later, but Shea Bolton in the last quarter, he has a great passage of play where he's running, he's wide open by himself towards the boundary line. Now, I reckon 5-6 weeks ago, Shea Bolton, he goes for goal. He snaps, check sides, whatever, probably misses. He's had a lot of misses this year. Tough angle as well, though. Like, not saying he's going to miss easy ones, but it would have been a tough goal to kick. He's looked inboard and hit up Ivan Soldo probably 30 metres out, almost directly in front. Like, the vision to find him there was amazing, but the selflessness to do what he did was incredible. And then Soldo goes back, one of the better set shots in our team, just because of that weird kicking style he's got, misses. And he's not the only one. Obviously, there's a lot of shots that, Jack missed a snap from the boundary, which, when does he ever miss those? I mean, we had shots that we'd normally kick, and it's just, I'm repeating myself at this point. It's week in, week out now that we're doing this, and it's a killer. Like I said, I don't know how long I can keep fronting up and doing this after these sorts of losses. But I'll talk about the elephant in the room, Noah Bolter and Noah Cumberland. I'll start with Bolter, go to Cumberland, and then go back to Bolter again. The Noah Bolter one, he had the right idea. I mean, you saw Jack Rewalt said, slow it down, take your 30 seconds, go back, kick the goal. I think he would have been about 35 metres out, maybe 40, but he's got a big kick, Bolter. We know that. You back him in to kick that. So Bolter slowly strolls through. He goes back, he's waiting, clock's ticking down. The umpire calls play on, his 30 seconds is up, and just the lack of awareness for me was baffling. I mean, he might not have heard the umpire, but look up at the scoreboard. You're at Marvel Stadium. It's got the biggest scoreboards almost in the country. Like, look up. Anyway, that was one opportunity we missed. It was in a tied game. Somehow we won a clearance we probably shouldn't have won. Marlon Pickett, exceptional, hits up Noah Cumberland on the lead. Now, a lot of people had an issue with Cumberland. I didn't. I thought what he did was a mistake. Yes, I'm not saying he did the right thing, but I don't necessarily think he did the wrong thing either. I think Cumberland there was, as a young kid, he's played, two or three full AFL games. I think he was just trying to move the game, take the game on, which we didn't see from so many other guys. And he was trying to do that, and it just didn't work out. So, yes, I reckon he would have had the distance. He probably would have kicked at least a behind or a goal, to win the game. But, obviously he wasn't aware that there was 3 seconds left or however much when he took the mark. But disappointing, but I'm not that filthy on him. And you saw after the game how upset he was with himself. And I think that speaks for itself. And this is why I'm going back to Noah Bolter. His post-game interview, and when he told Richo, or said to Richo, who cares about that, that made my blood boil. Who cares? Your 100,000 members care, for starters. That's who cares, Noah. And I'm hoping it was just a slip of the tongue. Like it didn't come out the way you meant it to. I'm hoping that's what it was. It was more of you can't let these things weigh you down, that type of thing. I'll cop that. But if you genuinely believe, it's just footy, who cares? Well, mate, you've got a lot of looking to do it yourself, because that's ridiculous. So that pissed me off. But I'm not going to dwell on the negatives. There's no point. They don't get you anywhere. We're getting to some positives. Thought Robbie Tarrant was incredible again. He was my best on ground, arguably. He was fantastic. And his last month and a half, 2 months of footy, have been superb. A lot of people hung shit on him earlier in the year, but he's turned his season around and just had blinders. He rarely gets scored against. He's got an iron fist. He's strong. He takes big marks. He's doing everything at the moment, Robbie Tarrant. And thank God we picked him up, because we're really lacking without him at the moment, especially with Lynch being out and Bolter going to the forward line and Gibkiss having spells up there as well, which is another one I was disappointed with. I can't believe Gibkiss didn't get a game. But Robbie Tarrant, fantastic. And another one, Dion Prestia, back to his best, 30 disposals, 8 clearances, 7 score involvements. The meatball is just doing meatball things, and we're going to need him to be doing those if we want to have any chance of playing finals this year. Like I said, not many games left, and we're going to take every opportunity. Shea Bolton, touching him before, I was going to talk about the inbound selflessness that he did there, but he kicked a couple of goals. He looked flashy. He looked fast. He looked paced. The only thing that it grinds my gears with Shea is he isn't the hardest two-way runner. I watch pretty closely because my cousin Liam, that I go to the footy with regularly, points it out week after week. He goes, he doesn't chase both ways. You see him walking. If we lose a centre clearance, you occasionally catch him just strolling through the middle while the other midfielders are trying to push. And sure enough, I paid a bit closer attention and I caught him a few times. And he's young, he'll grow, and obviously he hurts teams offensively more than he will defensively. But I think with his pace, we need, and especially where we are as a club at the moment, he needs to be a leader, as funny as that is to say about such a young guy. We need Shea to be a leader and step up, because he is one of our best players. He's a star. And when he needs to show, I know Dusty doesn't do it, but he's not Dusty. No one is. And I'd love Dusty to be more defensive. Obviously, I want Dusty to chase more. But Shea's young enough where he can still implement that into his game. And he's got the pace. That's one thing Dusty doesn't have. He doesn't have Shea's pace. So, not to be negative about it, because I thought he had a fantastic game. I'd love to see Shea just be a little bit more defensive, hunt players down, that pressure role. Which, speaking of, Maurice Rioli, I keep saying every week he needs to be in the side. And, he comes on as the medical sub again and nearly takes has the game-saving tackle, chase down tackle. Like, he doesn't have to have massive possession numbers or kick big, massive amounts of goals to be an important player for us. What he did was... Anyway, won't get into it. That's all I have to say about the Freo, the Freo game at the moment. It was a good step in the right direction. We didn't lose this week. We got 2 points instead of none, which, obviously we'll take. Hopefully they'll become important 2 points, because I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. I don't think a team needs to have 13 wins to play finals this year anymore like I did earlier. So we're still a sniff, but we're going to need some results to go our way now. That's just the sad fact of it. But I think there's still upside there. We just need to find it and guess bring it out. That's the easiest way to put it. So that is the Freo review. Let me know what you thought. It was a tough one to swallow. But like I said, I take a draw over a loss any day of the week, because 2 points is always better than none. So look, I hope you enjoyed some of the positives of the Freo game. There was a few there, believe it or not, apart from probably the last 2 minutes of the game that were a bit of a letdown. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the Freo review. We'll be back for the Brisbane preview, which is a massive game, massive amounts of milestones in this game here, a couple of retirements, which I'll talk about. But until then, go Tigers.